Yo, what's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earth Smack the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media Channel and another episode of Saturday Morning Comics. So today I have a very, very special guest for you guys today. Now, just in case you don't know who this young lady is, I'm gonna just put you on game. Now, she is a comic book historian and has written for notable publications such as Sci-Fi Fangirls, Marvel, the AV Club, Nerdist, Den of Geek, Rotten Tomatoes, DC Comics, and she now has two webcomics, Parenthood Activate, But What If Though, in addition to Living Heroes. Now, her writing credits include Nubia and the Amazons, Nubia Coronation Special, Nubia Queen of the Amazons, Wakanda #1 featuring Shuri, love that one, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, Wreck and Roll, Strange and Unsung All-Stars of the DC Multiverse, the Raven Boys graphic novel, and most recently, independent comics, her own personal works, Temporal, Roots of Madness, and Street Sharks, as well as Wonder Woman #29 and #30. I give to you, ladies and gentlemen, Stephanie Williams. How are you today?
I am doing lovely. It's Wednesday, so can't be mad about that.
Yeah. You know, it's hump day. It's hump day. Now, for you Saturday morning comic people, you know, this show was pre-recorded.
Oh, my bad. I
No.
gave away the gag. Oh, okay.
No. You know, the curtain been peeled back a long time ago. So for the listeners out there and the watchers out there, at any point in time that I'm not able to get to you live, you still going to get your show at 10 a.m. Eastern time.
I know that's right.
So you're still going to get your goods. So Stephanie, how are you today?
I'm lovely. You know, I'm here. I feel like, that is a very fair response given just the world at large right now. So I'm here and I'm happy to be talking to you about things that bring us joy. This good old comic book medium.
That's it. That it is. That it is. Now, I did left one accolade off.
Oh, okay.
Now she did something that I could not. She put my fiance on game when it comes to comic book reading. I was unable to do this, but she did this. And then she got a comment that I didn't get, and I was slightly jealous. But either way.
Well, tell her welcome to the wonderful world of comics. We are so happy to have her.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, man. She was reading Nubia, and I heard her have like certain expressions. She was like, "Oh," and I'm peeping in, right? Because I didn't want to like overwhelm her. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Oh, what happened?" And then she told me, and she took her time with it. Like she didn't read it all in one sitting. She was reading it as if it was chapters. So it's like, I'm gonna put it down, I'm gonna read it back, and I'm gonna savor this. I'm like, okay. So she's in the comic book medium. So once she finished all her stacks of books that she got, then I'm gonna hook her up with some Storm that run.
Please do.
Like
yes.
So, I only got you for a little bit of time, so I got a question.
All right.
A few questions.
Okay.
So, in the comic book medium, what really got you started? What was your starting point into comic books?
And just like enjoying it and reading them in general?
Yeah, like your progression from reading them to now writing them.
So, the very first like comic I actually would read would be the comic strips, right? In a Sunday paper. And then Dollar Tree long ago used to have sometimes collections of things like Hagar the Horrible, Peanuts and all of that. So I think I picked up a Hagar the Horrible. I was probably
Calvin and
like
Hobbes.
7. Yeah, yes. Probably like 7 or something like that. I'm pretty sure the jokes went over my head, but I was having a good time. And then a little later, because my grandmother really loved going to thrift stores before it became a thing, you could always find very old comics at the thrift store. So I think one that I picked that was there was Avengers 361. I could be wrong with that number, but it's in the middle of the story arc where Crystal, the Inhuman, Black Knight, and Cersei are kind of in this like weird throuple situation, but it's not actually a throuple situation. Like they're putting on for whatever reason. Vision is white. He's been reset to factory mode, and he's like, I just remember the last page where he is looking out the window, wanting to be where the real people are, as
Yeah.
Crystal and Black Knight are kissing down in the courtyard. So
Mm.
seeing that and just reading that entire thing, I was like, wow, this is like the soap operas that mom and grandma love to watch. It's giving bold, brave and the bold. I'm not brave and the bold, but it's getting the bold and the beautiful, young and the
Hmm.
restless, all of those. So once I kind of made that connection, I was like, I am definitely here for this. And then Archie took over my life for a little while because they were you could find them anywhere.
Hmm.
So Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, wherever, and the grocery store. And before the grocery stores got rid of it, they even had a comic book section in the grocery store that we used to go to in Chicago Heights. Ultra Food, shout out to y'all. But I would make a beeline there whenever my parents went grocery shopping. Like that's where they could find me. And Archie for a while was my go-to just because it was that slice of life. It was just always a good time reading it. And, I was also a big player of The Sims, so something about all of that kind of overlapped. And eventually, I got back into like superhero comics and
Hmm.
some manga, and yeah, like it just all kind of circled around. But Sunday funnies are what really introduced me to the world of comics.
You took me back because that Sunday paper, that funny
Yes.
section, I'm gonna need that though. Cause like anytime like
Mhm.
my grandmother, or my aunt, they pull out that paper, I'm like, hey, run that.
You see, at least I used to get in trouble because I would snatch it up before my grandfather or my dad got to it.
Yeah,
And like tear the whole paper up. It's like the Chicago Tribune, so it's like, very thick, and they would get to the paper and it's already been, dismantled because I was trying to get to the Sunday funnies. It
yeah,
was not funny when they found out though.
yeah. For me, it was Charlie Brown, Calvin and Hobbes,
Yes.
yeah, Hagar the Horrible, and there was another one. It was a kind of like a
Boondocks was
serious one.
another one that I enjoyed, but there
Which one?
is a serious one.
I forgot the
I am
name of it.
blanking on the name, but yes, Kathy
It's a
was another, which
yeah, that's the
wasn't
last one.
serious, but oh,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So I'm having a good time, little laughs, and I think too, it gave me appreciation for short form storytelling, being able to land your joke in a couple of panels. That is something that I took a great appreciation for.
yeah. And you mentioned Crystal and Avengers, right? So my
Uh
introduction
huh.
to Crystal was in X-Men Avengers Blood Ties, that
Okay.
crossover event
Yeah. Yeah.
where Fabian took her baby, and she was very matter of
Hmm.
fact about that. Like, Avengers
She
was
didn't
like,
fight.
"Hey, calm your nerves," and she was like, "You don't get the hell away from me. I'm going to Thunder."
Meanwhile, she had just had that baby, I think. No, no, no. This is before she got pregnant, I think, but she was having an affair on Quicksilver. So no, no, no. Maybe this was yes, and this is during the Vision and Wanda run. And I just always thought it was funny, like not you creeping around with the real estate agent that sold your sister-in-law and her husband their house, and you lying about coming to visit, and you creeping the whole time, and then
Wild work.
just a fool got sick because she's not supposed to be on Earth like that. None of the Inhumans are, because Earth is terrible and it's full of pollutants, and she made herself sick, and her lover had to take her back to the moon. Messiest
Yeah,
thing ever. Yeah.
yeah. That's some diabolical work. Like some wild work.
Yes.
Wild work.
See,
So
comics are great.
it is. It's very much so. That why I know that what me and Blur talked about off air, and it was like it's so many avenues for comics outside.
Mhm.
We talk about Marvel, but outside of Marvel and DC, there's independent comics that like just get to like the nitty gritty, the nooks and crannies of things, and like it's way more compelling storytelling sometimes
Yeah.
because with indies it's free reign. You have
Mhm.
it's at your creator's behest. But now speaking of writing, now how did you actually get into writing comic books? Like, what was your first job? How did that come about?
It was a long winding road. So I'm going to try to give the brief version of it, but it wasn't until after I had my son that I like really was looking at life different. I was working as a research scientist. I knew I wasn't going to go back to school to get my MD, PhD, because I was like, you could do that, but you would not necessarily be happy. It was just the next logical thing for you to do, the safer thing for you to do. So after having him, like I've always loved writing, always wrote, be it, poems that will never see the light of day or short stories, fan fiction, all of these things. I was always writing is just not something that I knew that I could really pursue seriously. So after having him, something flipped. I reached out to an author whose work I really admired, was romance author. She took the time to write me back. And she was just very encouraging. I went out and got a new laptop that weekend because I did need one. The laptop I had was like very old. It was a compact, and I don't even think they still make those. So
I don't think
got
so. Yeah.
that. Yeah, started blogging, and then from blogging to podcasting. Did a podcast called Misty Knight's Uninformed Afro, where we took an academic approach to talking about Black women and characters in comics. So basically, going through their history, compiling it all together. We would focus on one character each episode, because for a lot of these Black women or just Black characters in general at the big two and some other places, you don't get full books for them. Like they don't have solos. So you gotta like get their story arc after going through, 12, 15 different issues of Avengers and then maybe some Fantastic Four or whatever.
Yeah.
Or in the case of DC, same thing, some Justice League of America, so on and so forth. So did that, got invited to the Kennedy Arts Center, and I think that was when I was like, "Oh, okay, well, like, obviously y'all are taking it serious, so I can definitely do that." Then the podcast immediately broke up a week after we got back from the art summit because, that's what happens, and I had all this research that I had did in preparation for season 3, and I didn't know what to do with it. So someone, said, "Hey, you should pitch something to a publication like a Sci-Fi Wire." So I did that. The very first piece that I ever got paid for to write was the evolution of the Dora Milaje from comics to movies because Black Panther came out that year, became a regular contributor, and everything that I wrote was mainly comics. So me taking deep dives, just talking about stuff from my perspective, like Charles Xavier being the worst boss ever, and that's what the whole
Mm.
Phoenix saga is
Mm-hmm.
really centered around. Amanda Waller being, the head bitch in charge who really is not here to be your babysitter or make you feel good about yourself. She wants you to do your job because that's
Mm-hmm.
why you're here. Different things like that. Always focusing and talking about comics, and eventually, I was like, I should probably maybe figure out how to write comics because there are things that I would like to see that I am not seeing in what I'm reading, or ever seen, period, as while reading. So between that, the memeing on Twitter, kind of getting my writing chops that way, and really honing my voice. The very first comic I did was Parenthood Activate, which was a web comic I did with Sarah Macklin, and it was basically Rugrats from a parent's perspective. And then Living Heroes came after that, and an editor from Marvel reached out to me, not because of Living Heroes. It was because of an article that I wrote about the best butts in Marvel from the 90s. So very unserious, serious piece. But I think what stood out to them was just my knowledge of the overall just Marvel characters, and then that I had a take, and it was a humorous take.
Yeah.
So I did 2-page story on Monica Rambeau because, of course. And the week that that came out, spoke to an editor at DC, thanks to Vita Ayala, who suggested me for some Wonder Woman stuff. Did
Mm-hmm.
a 8-page story for Wonder Woman Black and Gold, and I thought that was it. But no, that was pretty much my audition for Nubia and the Amazons. And the rest is still history in the making. So this is all back in 2021. Well, not
Now,
all of that, but, the last part, 2021.
so okay, so I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper. So with
Yeah.
your being a Black woman in the comic book writing space, like
Mhm.
what is that like? And also, well, it's a two-parter. So you went from writing, certain articles and transition over to writing comics. Like,
Mhm.
what is the difference between the two? What is the different process?
Yeah, yeah. So being a black woman in comics is like being a black woman in STEM. So
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
difference wasn't it was something I was already kind of I knew how to navigate a tricky space
Yeah.
where I wasn't supposed to quote unquote really exist in, let alone thrive in. So I was ready for that. And now as far as going from writing about comics to writing comics, just speaking for myself because of the approach I always took, it was never really to speak negatively. It was just more so here are my thoughts on this, the reasoning behind it, and what could work or what doesn't work and why. And it was always with an appreciation for the medium, the creators behind it. So when it came down to me actually writing my own, because either I picked stuff up through osmosis and then also just being resourceful and looking for scripts that other writers had written. I remember House of X, Powers of X, the director's cut had came out. That's the trade paperback, and Jonathan Hickman's scripts were in it. Now, in
Yeah.
hindsight, it was insane to look at Jonathan Hickman's scripts to like really figure out how to script comics and communicate to the artists. And not saying that his scripts are terrible. No, it's just that Jonathan Hickman writes a lot of dense stuff. So it's a lot. and
Yeah.
but it worked
I'm
out.
currently in the rabbit
So
hole.
yes. So that Jim Zub's his webpage, like he had a lot of writing advice and stuff for people who were interested in getting into writing comics. So just being resourceful in that way and figuring it out and hoping that, I was gonna be cringe sometimes. I was probably gonna fail, maybe post something and maybe got 10 or 12 likes. I understood that with Living Heroes that it was super niche and I had no idea people would really be here for it, but you don't know until you do it. And I just went ahead and said, let me go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you are your own worst critic. You're like, nah, that's not
Mhm.
good. And then you hear other people like, nah, this is pretty fire. And you just are like, okay, well, maybe I'm gonna just keep writing then.
Yeah.
So, keep on going. Um, so jumping into your most recent works, right?
Mhm.
Temporal, Roots of Madness, and Street Sharks. Now, more specifically, Street Sharks. Now, how did that come about? How did you end up getting like the Street Sharks, IP and writing about that?
I think that came from I've always been intentional with the projects that I pick, and then also just letting editors know who I am as a person as well as who I am as a writer. And like just them getting to know me and what my interests are. And I had been doing some work for IDW on My Little Pony, and when you're working with if you're working on an IP that is of course attached to another business, so Hasbro, and being able to work through that. And the same thing with Mattel for Street Sharks. I know that the editor, Heather Antos, was like, that sounds like a Stephanie Williams thing. So, ask her, would she be interested? And I remember getting the email. I was getting my nails done, so I couldn't respond. Like my headphones, like read it to me, and I was like, hold on. So I typed real quick a very unprofessional response, which was probably F yeah. And then followed it up after I got my nails done and was finished and was like, okay, so sorry about that. But yes, I will absolutely be interested in this. And it was quite perfect. Like I even text my brother. He rarely ever like will give a call back. He called me back because Street Sharks was something that we watched together and we really enjoyed.
Jawsome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jawsome, fantastic, yes.
And what's funny about it, when you first announced it, I think I saw it on Threads. I think that's when I
Mhm.
first seen it. And I was like, I was geeking, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because ironically enough, like before you even announced it, I saw like action figures of Street Sharks, right? And
Yeah.
then I saw the actual series on Tubi, like
Yeah.
the actual series on Tubi. And then, okay, here you come on Threads and like, yeah, I'm writing Street Sharks. They're coming out soon. And I was like, is this what you're trying to tell me, universe? Like,
Yep.
I need to get this book. I like, okay, and I did get the book, so
Thank you.
thoroughly enjoyed it. So, who's your favorite Street Shark though?
So when I was younger, it was streaks because of the rollerblades. Like you could
Uh-huh.
not be a 90s kid if you didn't enjoy somebody on rollerblades. But now that as I've been writing the series, it's actually Jab, just because I have a soft place in my heart for the guy that has to be a little bit too macho sometimes because he is probably the most vulnerable out of the group just because he really does wear his heart on his sleeve. So
Yep.
yeah, Jab's my fave. Ripster, we have too much in common by being the oldest. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, I love him down, but
He's kind of like the Leo of the group.
yeah, yeah. And then of course
Yeah.
Slim Moo, Big Baby. But he's adorable, so you can't not like him.
Yeah, that's my boy right there. I love me some Slam Move. Maybe because my favorite color is orange. Maybe that's
Yeah,
probably why.
that's fair.
So, and streaks, obviously, for what you said earlier, is the rollerblades. Now, I recently read Temporal too because I do love like time travel pieces, right?
Yeah.
And so, the front cover already had me just by the DeLorean and all that.
I
Now,
knew that was gonna be the thing. Yes.
that was a selling point, right? So, well, I do have a question though because when I read it,
Sure.
so Marcus and Savannah, they took that
Uh-huh.
DeLorean, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
the guy, the janitor, was like, "Yo, that's my car. How am I gonna explain that?" But it went over to the next page. Was that the same guy but older, looking at the
No,
car on the wall? Because I was thinking about that.
No, 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 no. That was just me being cute with a little cut scene to I was just thinking of like, a very I love late 80s, early 90s action sci-fi and
Yeah.
like they're good for a cold open that cuts to whatever the thing is.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So that's all that was.
And you know what's funny? Because I was thinking about it for a minute. Because I was
I
doing this
mean,
for the
but
names. I was
also,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, blonde, blonde. You bearded. You're not bearded on this previous page. This might be the same guy. Which would be wild
No, but
work.
that is absolutely fair.
Yeah, that would have been wild work if it was. I was like, wow, you literally looking at your
You
car,
looking
dude.
at your card is stolen. Now maybe that's like a great grandson or something like that. Who knows?
True, true,
True, right?
true. And I'm like you. I think we on the same wavelength because I do love '80s and '90s type stuff.
Mhm.
And what's funny is I'm in the middle of watching the docu series, the '80s that CNN did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to work my way up to the '90s. I mean, obviously the '90s to me is like the best decade ever, but everything was affordable.
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
So with how did you come up with the idea of temporal?
It was really I was having a conversation with a friend and at that I think it was during the summer a couple years ago. My son is a huge retro gamer and I was looking for game gear for him. So like every time
Ooh.
I was at a convention, those are the best places to try to find retro stuff, maybe sometimes for the low. And my friend was like, you turn into Laura Croft when you're at these conventions looking for this stuff. And I was like, you're right. I do. So something about that stuck with me and I just kept ruminating on it. And then we're oddly enough was watching Time Cop of all things
Mm-hmm.
and was just very paid attention a little bit more to the stuff in the background. So just what this future world looks like where time travel is this guy's using it to go back and rig the election. I'm just like, but what if time travel was some type of currency or created a new currency in which we really lean on the nostalgia of everything to keep the economy afloat? I mean, essentially, it's keeping the economy afloat.
Yeah.
So it just got me to thinking about that. And then going back to stories that I would just like to see. I just wanted to see, this black mother, this black woman who used to be really great at what she did. Of course, she retires, has another life, but she, even though her life is on the outside as perfect can be, she still has that itch to see, hey, do I still have it? And the time traveling really is just a plot device there for me to just kind of explore this I don't know, this therapeutic thought of, even though our lives can be, great, so on and so forth, the allure and pull of the past, and especially if it's a past that, we did enjoy, was there. And also just speaking of women, I remember when I like the first few months of motherhood, I was like, dang, does anybody know I exist? It's just always the baby, the baby, the baby, which is fun,
Right.
but also it's just like such a transition. So you kind of lose yourself a bit in that new identity. So her son turns 10. My son just turned 10, and I was like, oh my God, my baby is not a baby anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was like, I'm gonna write comics for Savannah. I'm gonna go back to crime, but only for one more heist.
Yeah, it is, and it's for her son because he
So
look.
she says.
Yeah, that what she said, but she already had that in. She's like, oh, that's my excuse right
Mhm.
there. I'm gonna go
Yes.
ahead and slide real fast.
Yes.
Holla at the homie. And I felt like when I was reading it, right, when Savannah was talking to her mother in the kitchen, her mom was
Mhm.
like, "What's going on?" She's
Mhm.
like, "Nothing, mom." She's like, "Bullshit." First
Uh-huh.
of all, like, you tell me when you're ready. But that conversation between them two, I did felt like you were putting yourself in that kitchen,
Mhm.
and it's some things that you were thinking about, like personally.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm like, yeah, because I do when I do read some of your stuff, I like, okay, this is part of her,
Yeah, thank you.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm visualizing you in the character, kind of thing. So yeah, she did have to scratch that itch though, but
Yeah, yeah, hey. Now, is it gonna work out for her? Who's to say? But we'll all find we'll all find out. Because as
yeah,
we know, 80s, 90s are just sci-fi, action, adventure type of things. We got to go on this journey with a chosen family or a chosen one to see how they pull through.
yeah, absolutely. And now this is the book I have not read yet,
Yeah, yeah.
and I said yet, I emphasize. Roots of Madness. Can you tell us what that entails?
Yeah, so that is a total 180 from Temporal.
Okay.
and that this and actually maybe, yeah, my first time really writing horror. I did write a short story for Alien, for Black, White, and Blood, but this is me really, yeah, being putting myself on the page again, just kind of working through some things. But the story takes place in 1905. It follows a young woman named Etta Knight who is basically this character came to me, or just a story in general, because of a conversation about Madam CJ Walker I was having with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
uh I don't even know how we got on the subject, and I'm pretty sure it was a ping pong. It was probably started with SpongeBob and somehow ended with her. But got to talking about her, and just I don't know, like learning about her in school and stuff like that. And I told him, like, initially I was so excited to learn about her because I had always assumed, like, she was this chemist. But she was still great at what she did.
Yeah.
Because of course, first black woman to be a millionaire. And then she did make some of her own products, but I was like, man, it would be kind of cool if there was a character that existed during this time period. Because so often the focus is on men, especially when we talk about sometimes like herbalists and root workers in our community. So it'd be nice to kind of like focus on this young black woman who is she has a lineage of women who were good at what they did. They were the go-to when somebody needed a remedy, and she wants to, take that and elevate it with the new knowledge that she has. So this story is something. The roots is not just the hair; it is the family roots. Rooted in history as like how that impacts, and even not just our lens looking back on her time, but even her looking back on her ancestors' time, which really takes things back. So this is a cosmic horror. So things are going to get increasingly spooky and spin out. Annihilation is a movie that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically the part where Tessa Thompson and them are among the flowers, and then Tessa kind of turns into a flower at some point, or at least that's what the movie leads you to believe. I enjoy Jeff Vandermeer's Alien trilogy. I mean, Area Trilogy X, which Annihilation is based on or adapted from. So, things like that. There were elements of Lovecraft Country that I did enjoy, even though I didn't enjoy the end. I mean, I didn't enjoy the entire thing, but there are
Yeah.
elements of it that I did, and but also just happy that something like that existed because it made space for me to make Roots of Madness. So, just that. I started writing this before Sinners came out, so it just worked out in my favor that this is something that if you love Sinners, or just appreciated what Sinners did, this is something that you'll also appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's definitely on my list of comics to get, and I'll probably get that like tonight when I get off.
Go, yeah, yeah, yeah. Go
Yeah, go
ahead
get that
now.
read on. You know what I mean? Because one thing I have realized is that between Mad Cave and Dynamite, they have been in their bag,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in the
Oh, you mean
past.
Ignition Press? Well, Dynamite has been in their bag,
Yeah,
but Ignition Press is who Roots of Madness is through.
it's stank. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Now I know that one with Ignition, but I know
yeah,
with
yeah.
Temporal that was Mad Cave.
Mackay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mad Cave. So that because it's kind of like staying in my mind. But yeah, they've definitely been in their bag as far as like stuff they're putting out. And I had a big ask, right? And hopefully I have, another writer on because I seen Space Ghost, I seen Speed Racer, I seen all this other stuff,
Yeah.
right? I said, well, wait a minute, what about SWAT cats? Like,
So, did you see a
I saw
SWAT?
something on my Facebook.
So,
I don't know that was fake or not.
no, no, no. It is real. Jorge Corona is the interior artist. I got to see the art live because
Okay,
I'd seen him in
okay.
Boise. Joe Illich is an editor on it, and I am so sorry I'm blanking on the writer's name. But they are working with the actual creators of SWAT Cats and the voice cast.
Mm,
Of the two main characters are involved. That is a very real Kickstarter.
okay.
This book is definitely happening because, of course, they surpass their goal like within probably 2 hours.
Wow.
So we're
Okay.
getting SWAT Cats, which I'm
Oh
very
man.
excited about.
Yeah,
Yes.
me too, man.
Yeah.
That and when the last time you seen Tubi? Like you used Tubi?
Oh,
You
I use Tubi every day. So starting at the beginning of this year, Tubi has been my go-to just because I miss commercials and like getting a break from, like just watching a regular TV show and just kind of whatever.
yeah,
Also they got a lot of deep cuts. Like there is Death by Temptation on there, a black horror movie that I didn't even know existed with
yeah. Me neither. You put me on something
yes,
new.
I am blanking on who all is in it, but it's a vampire movie. It is on Tubi. Again, it's called Death by Temptation. Death is
By temptation.
DEF. Yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
The guy who played Kadeem in A Different World. Am I getting the name wrong? Or is his
Oh, you
name
talking
Kadeem
about
Hardison?
yeah? Wayne, Dwayne Wayne.
Yes. Okay. So yes, Kadeem Hardison is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Before he was in Vampire in Brooklyn. It's very funny that there's a connection there.
Wow.
I
Okay,
believe Samuel L. Jackson is in it. I could be lying.
that makes sense with hair.
Um, yes, yes, but I'm to be down.
Man, okay. So you already know about Centurions being on there.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because I was flipping through and I was like, wait, like that's the whole thing. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, so total transparency because I said it in on the Saturday morning comics, right? Because
Mm-hmm. You
two
watched
comics that I
it.
want to see:
Uh-huh.
SWAT Cats and Pirates of Dark Water. Those are two I really
Ah,
want.
oh my God, yes.
Yes,
The
because I got the
so
whole series downstairs.
Pirates of the Dark Water, I specifically remember they had toys, kids meal toys at Long John Silver's. Do not ask me why that is a specific memory, but it is. So yes. Unfortunately, yes, my parents sometimes took us to Long John Silver's. We were keeping them in business.
I went to Captain D, so I kept them in business.
Well,
So
so when I moved to North Carolina, I did not do Captain D's because I stopped doing Long John, but my parents, they're keeping Captain D's in business. So that's why they're still
yeah,
open. I'm so sorry.
yeah. So for me, like my fourth grade,
Uh-huh.
you know how you get that year long assignment that you turn in at the end of the year. So our
Uh-huh.
year long assignment was to write our own story, right?
Okay.
So and if we had free time, we crack open the
Mhm.
notebook and start writing. I rewrote Pirates of Dark Water like in the fourth grade. No, I said fourth grade, seventh grade. I'm sorry. Yeah, I rewrote Pirates of Dark Water. Um, and then I wrote it to completion because
Okay.
Pirates of Dark Water
It didn't,
did not
yeah.
end
Mm-mm.
right. and I don't know what I did with that book. I mean,
I need you to
it,
find it. I wish you could
yeah,
find it. I wish you could have. Okay, so if they ever invent Total Recall, do
uh-huh.
not become a secret agent. You can go back in time. They can pull that memory up, and then we can
Yeah.
then get this.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna need you to proofread.
I, I
I'm
got
gonna
you.
need you to proofread.
I got you.
Man, it was so because I had Pirates of Dark Water for the Sega Genesis because
Yeah.
that was one of my
Yes.
favorite games, and I wrote it to a point where Ren had half a sword, but I wrote a
Mm-hmm.
point where he got the other half of the sword, and which is
See.
on the game too. That's actually on the game. You can get the other
Yeah.
half on the secret stage. So
Yeah.
and him going 1-on-1 with Bloth, like finally killing Bloth, and Tula being in tune with her abilities
Yeah.
and her training for that. Like I don't know where my mind was going when I was writing that stuff, but but
It
I
was
was
going to
writing.
greatness.
It was going to greatness, and then I just stopped like at that point. But
Yeah. Yeah.
unlike you, but you kept going. Now, because I know we got like 10 more minutes or
Yeah.
so I'm gonna just rapid fire. So future comics. Do you have any dream characters or dream stories that you really want to write outside of your own personal works? Because I know Temporal is your personal work and Roots of Madness is Living Heroes.
I just
But you,
closed my eyes because I kid you not,
mm-hmm,
two of those things that are on my bucket list, one of them for sure is now in the works because I signed the contract. And the other one got a very strong green light, but
mm-hmm,
I mean the business, the company that owns the IP has to okay it first. So my fingers are crossed. It's a horror thing,
okay,
and that is all I will say. Outside of that, Vixen, of course, is going to be top of mind, and I am so close to making that happen.
ooh,
So
okay,
prayers up. We'll see. And then man, this is all gonna be DC, but like I really want to write Amanda Waller so bad. I want to do Amanda
ooh,
Waller Black Label book. And if my editor randomly listens to this, or any editor at DC who ends up listening to this podcast, will probably laugh because I have not shut up about this Amanda Waller BDSM book. So
hey now, Black
it's
Label,
yeah,
Amanda Waller.
yeah.
I am
As a
intrigued.
woman with so much power and just so much control, um, I don't know, like I just feel like there quite obviously there's a story there for her to kind of get mixed up in some type of, I don't know, fantasy underground thing where she is relinquishing that control, and maybe it works for a little bit, but of course it spirals into something else. So I want to
Okay,
write that book. So we'll
I,
see.
I'm gonna read that book.
Because I mean, we haven't really seen a sexy Amanda Waller.
Yeah,
And she's a character, no matter how she's looked in appearance, like there's obviously she's very passionate woman, not in the way that we see, but if you're passionate in one way, you're probably passionate in a lot of other ways. So anyway,
yeah. I
that's
see
what I
it.
want to
Like
write. You see the okay,
I
I'm just
see it. Like
saying
I
now,
seen it. Like been
it is
reading it and seen it in Justice League Unlimited. I'm like, oh
okay.
yeah. And
Yeah,
when she told Batman
exactly.
like rich boy, and Batman was like, huh?
Okay. Yes.
I was like, oh. I had to lean back in my chair for a second. I was like, okay,
I
okay.
would even remix her origin story. You know what? Let me not give too much away. But
Yeah, don't
the
don't give
story
us.
is written. I just need the green light on it. And then if that doesn't happen, then I can always do a creator own thing. And it would just be, different character, but influence. So we'll see.
Okay, okay. So one more question.
Uh-huh.
So give me. This gonna be putting you on the spot.
Okay.
So give me your top 5 characters, whether it's your own creation or big two or indies. Don't matter.
All right. So I'm gonna leave myself out of it.
Okay.
But I would say Monica Rambeau,
Mm-hmm.
of course. Storm, of course, is there. Misty Knight is there. Um Wonder Woman, of course, is there because why would she not be? And then 5 is a very tough one because who goes in that slot?
Mm, you got a few people on that slide. I already can tell.
And I do. I do. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to give it to Miss Wanda Maximoff because, whoo, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 My fiance actually relates with her,
Yeah.
especially when because she's, that's before she started like reading comics like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Just, before you introduced her.
Yeah.
Uh, she watched all the MCU movies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And Multiverse of Madness, and
Mhm.
how Wanda was going off, and she was like, I can relate.
I get
And she
that.
said, yeah, and she
You
said that
know,
in the theater too. She was like, I can thoroughly relate.
I get it.
And I'm like, and I kind of looked at her. I'm like, I thank God you don't have powers.
Well, yes, factual, yes, but
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
no, I
it's
have to give it to Wanda.
yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Well, Stephanie, thank you for being part of the show, man. Obviously, this is not the last time,
Oh,
right?
no, no,
This
no.
is the first time.
In fact, you should probably email me right after this so we can set something up because I have some other stuff that I would like to talk about that hopefully will be announced at the top of the year.
Yes, because I got stuff like right here, like I want to ask you. Like yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we be on here for a little minute, so I might just keep it like you just broad stroke it.
Yes.
Um, now your handles. How can people like follow you and your
Mhm.
works and get in contact with you as far as get some comic books and everything?
So, on Instagram and Threads, TikTok, even though I'm not really on there, you can follow me at Steph_I_Will,
Mm-hmm.
and that's STEPH_I_W_WILL. My website, which I do need to update, is whystuff.com. That's WHY stuff.com. I do have a newsletter that I also need to update. Listen,
Okay.
she did a lot of traveling during the summer, so it got away
Yeah.
from me. But
Working.
working, yes. But that is called Press Start the Story. If you go to any of my social medias, you'll be able to find that in the link, the bio and the link, or the link in the bio. Wow, my brain is fried. Um,
I know what that's like. Don't even worry.
but no, if you go to any of those places, it also take you to my coffee, which sometimes I have books, available and signed and mail out to you. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome, awesome. And to the Geek Corner, I
Mhm.
will definitely put those links in the
Yes.
description below. I would definitely tell you how to get in contact with this wonderful lady because she definitely be active on Threads. And
Yes.
sometimes there's some people that kind of like try to be negative, but then that's why you got people like us so you can
I
flame
know,
them.
and I appreciate y'all because yes,
Yeah,
let them
I'm
know.
like, who is that? Tag them. Who is that?
So real quick, that was a reviewer who I feel like has had it out for me since I wrote something. He tends to be very negative towards women in general, but
Mm,
is like a little extra. And then he's forever confusing me with Stephanie Phillips, and it's just like, hey, if you at least you gonna send hate, like get the address correct. Let's
yes.
start there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
You don't be out here looking dumb twice.
well, it's quite often. So
Yeah,
there we go.
quadruple even. But
Yes.
so thank you once again for being on the show. Again, this won't be the last time. We
No,
definitely will be having a
no.
part 2. And to the Geek Corner, I hope you guys enjoy this edition of Saturday Morning Comics featuring Stephanie Williams. So until next time, y'all, peace.
Bye.